Welcome everyone to another edition of your morning workout talk, brought to you by your literary pharaoh. Yeah, guys, it's about 4:25 in the morning. Headed to the gym. I missed you guys on Friday. I did go to the gym Friday. I just didn't have to go to work Friday, so I went a little later. So I didn't do the morning workout talk then. So I didn't miss Friday. Saturday, my daughter had a track meet. This was a district track meet. She earned second place in the 200 for the 5-year-olds, and she earned I believe should be a little, I'm not, hold on, I'm trying to think. Yeah, for the 100 meters, she earned a third place. In the 200, she earned second place. She looked good. 5 years old. My wife ran track, so I think that's where I know she didn't get her speed from me. Not that I was slow. I mean, I played sports, but I wasn't like a track person. I didn't run track. I played basketball and a little bit of football. Yeah. So that's what I did Saturday. Saturday it was hot out there in that stadium over there in Webster, Texas. And then of course we on Sunday, which was yesterday, I got some good sun in. So actually this week, starting with Thursday, I got a lot of sun in. When I say sun in, I mean sun gazing. When I sit out there on my mat in the driveway, I'm sun gazing, literally looking at the sun. But don't do it. If you just started to do that, don't start doing it when the sun is at its peak around noon. You want to start when the sun is what they consider when the sun is wet. The sun is rising. It isn't that hot yet. I think that's the best time to do it. And I did sun gaze Thursday for about 45 minutes. Of course, Friday went to the gym, and then Saturday went to my daughter's track meet. Sunday I got some more sun gazing in, and it's I slept well. I mean, it's truly remarkable how that works. So many natural remedies to combat a lot of the issues we have. Not that I have issues sleeping. I could always sleep, but I noticed I went to sleep much faster yesterday. There are times in bed when I'm sleeping, when I'm laying down trying to go to sleep, I still have a lot of thoughts rummaging through my brain, and nothing that deals with like anxiety or anything. Just I'm thinking about my day. Like sometimes I'm thinking about what kind of workouts I'm going to do the next morning, things like that. But yeah, that was it. So I had a good week. In terms of eating, I ate well. My eating, because I'm always rating my eating as well, and that's what we have to do as human beings. And everything we do, we have to rate it. Am I eating the best? Am I drinking the best? Am I putting the best things inside my body to optimize my output? And if I'm working out, am I giving it my all? Am I pushing myself? So those are things that we have to be cognizant of, and we have to make sure that we are very intentional in what we do. There always has to be some sort of a measuring stick in your head to measure performance in anything that you do. Even how you communicate with people, how you deal with people on a interpersonal level. You know, we have to be very, very, cognizant of those things. And that degree of detail is important because it's It's the ignorance of the details in our lives that oftentimes, you know, comes to our detriment. In other words, there are times when we as human beings we're so fixated on the larger scheme, and we forget the little details are just as significant as the larger scheme. You know, people are focused on being healthy and looking good, but no one's willing to put in the details to get there. So what America has done, which is part of this neurological warfare that we're under, I call it neurological warfare. It's the same thing as psychological warfare. They play to our needs. They play to our desperation. So because of the world we live in, because of the diets that are pushed, the diets that are advertised, and the accessibility to all the junk that's around us, being emotional that we are, if we are all under a governance of a stress level that's so high that it motivates us to grab the nearest thing around the corner because we are emotional leaders, then that's a neurological warfare, because they know what they're doing. When I say they, I'm talking about the controllers, the ones that constructed the system. I mean, you can look around the world and tell that there should be an alternative to the way we're living. It's not about health. It's not about your well-being. It's not about anything that makes sense in terms of the logic. If it makes sense in terms of money, then that's what's going to be done. So a lot of people want the outcome. So what America does, or what this country does, or rather what the world does, they provide you quick solutions such as plastic surgery, Botox, take this pill. If you want to lose weight, take this, do that. No one's at all interested in the discipline of what it takes. No one's interested in the day-to-day performance of their actions. No one's concerned with the details. And that's what I'm talking about. If you overlook those little details, then you'll never get to your ultimate goal. And even, take the best athletes in the world today, or anyone that's great at whatever that they do. If you talk to them, yeah, they can say some of it is genetics and some of it is just, gifts that they were given by DNA, gifts from God, whatever you want to call it. However, even though they have that gift becomes nothing if you don't work at it. You have to work at it. And that's the detail part that I'm talking about. So you don't have to be a world-class athlete. If you are a normal, average, day-to-day person, you have to govern yourself as an athlete. You have to. You have to be very intentional about how you eat. What are your thoughts like? I would encourage you to keep a journal. And if you can, remember your thoughts and rate them. Rate your thoughts. Make a T-chart. One side good thoughts, one side bad thoughts. And if you can remember the thoughts you had in the day, write them down toward the end of the day. Write how many good thoughts you had and how many bad thoughts you had. And write what they were. And start asking yourself, am I being more positive than I am being negative? Am I being overwhelmingly negative and not being positive at all? Or am I being overwhelmingly positive without any negative thoughts? I believe in balance. I don't believe in just totally dismissing the significance of negativity. A lot of people try to evade negativity, but I don't think that evading negativity is the issue. I think having a balance of positive thoughts and negative thoughts is a vital construct to the human experience, because I talk about this all the time. I talk about the law of duality all the time, and it's required, it's needed in order for us to live a balanced life. Trying to suppress negativity only hides the monster, so to speak, while the monster grows. You never deal with the negativity. You never grow. It's funny when you examine life and just examine it from a sort of a philosophical. You come at it with a philosophical lens. You come at it from that lens, right? And you understand how pain and joy are both working on the same continuum. You say pain and joy, that's opposites. Yes, they're opposites, but they're on the same line. They're linear, meaning that just like you have numbers are linear. You have negative numbers, you have positive numbers, but nevertheless, they're still all numbers, right? You remember when we went to school, you had 0 in the middle, and anything to the left of the 0 was negative, and anything to the right of the number line of the 0 was positive. Well, when you're talking about pain and joy, which are both emotions, they're still emotions. They're still working on the number line of emotion, if I can use that example to get you guys to understand what I'm trying to convey here. So they're both working on that number line, right? So you can't avoid joy any more than you can avoid pain. They're both there. There are times in life you don't even have to seek joy. It comes, but it has to come organically. That's the best kind of joy. The joy that comes when you don't really plan it. When you manufacture your joy, you become a miserable human being because it has to be authentic. Pain is also authentic as well. No one plans for pain. I don't know anyone who wakes up saying, "Oh, I want to feel pain today." No one likes pain. Pain is something that we avoid, but nevertheless, it comes to all of us. Pain is something that comes to all of us. It hits us all. As you came into this life, you came in through the annals of pain. Somebody had to squeeze you out. Your mother was in pain and labor. You came in this world via the tunnel of pain. So you're being introduced to what pain is. Even though the fetus doesn't feel the pain, the mother does. So even in the sense of childbearing or childbirth, you can see the reality of pain and joy occurring in that one circumstance. Yet the mother is in pain as she gives labor, but yet there's joy when that newborn baby is born. So pain and joy are both things that are needed. I would actually argue and say that joy actually has a little bit more meaning because of pain. Pain makes you respect joy, and joy makes you respect pain. You have to respect pain, because if you don't respond to the pain, then it can be something that's debilitating to the human experience. You got to respect it. I don't mean like it. I mean respect it. I mean that if you have pain, you do something about it. Pain will actually force you to have a counter, something that you're gonna have to do to respond to that, right? So yeah, be detailed in your life. Everything, be detailed. Don't be loose, seeking pleasures all the time. That's no way to live. That's hedonism. You don't seek pleasure. Pleasure comes from within, but pleasure requires a degree of discipline as well. Everything that you do requires discipline. It just depends where your mindset is at. It just depends where your mindset is at, folks. It's like 4:41 right now. And believe it or not, I'm already here at the gym parked. It opens at 5, but there are already sort of like 3 cars here before me. Sometimes I think that I'm the crazy one that's getting here early, but there are people that are getting here much earlier than me. And there's this guy, he's always like cleaning his car here in the morning, like literally, like he's wiping his car down. I don't know if he has an infatuation with his vehicle, but he's very very detailed. But I admire that though. When I was young, I would probably think this guy was crazy, but I don't think he is. I just think that the fact that he comes to gym, he's just as consistent as I am. He's always here. I don't know if he's here at Monday through Friday, but I come Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So when I'm here those 3 days, he's here. So he has a degree of discipline that I respect, and real recognizes real in that sense. And the fact that he's always getting out, wiping his car down, lets me know that he's a person that pays attention to detail. He's clean. You could tell a lot about a person by their behavior. I mean, I'm literally sizing the guy up by his behaviors. He's wiping his car down. He does this consistently, so I know he's consistent. Obviously, he can't be a dirty guy, because if he's cleaning the outside of the car, I'm sure the inside of the car is just as clean as well. Judging from his physique, because you could tell he works out, you could tell he's also very detailed about what he puts inside his body and what he allows to come outside his body. So you can tell a lot about people by what they do. You can. I haven't spoken to the guy before. Yeah. But I can bet that my analysis of him is 99.9% accurate, based upon the things that I see and what I just said. It's the only logical conclusion to come to. It is. Today's my battle rope workout. It's going to be a struggle. I'm going to do some HIIT, high, intense. What is it? High. I always get that, man. I always mess up the acronym of HIIT, because it's not HIT, it's HITT, right? High intense training, the H is for high. Oh, high intense, the I is intense. Training, high intense training. I don't know, but I'm doing a HIIT workout. That's what I'm doing. Because I have to get out of here. I can't stay in the gym too long. I have to get in, get a shower, and get out of here, because gotta get to work. Gotta be there at 7. Man, I had this is actually what I wanted to talk about. I know I got off on a tangent about being disciplined. I was thinking about this last night, and I know people talk about the concept of heaven. People talk about the concept of hell. And I call them concepts because nobody has seen hell in the abstract in terms of how we view our third dimensional realm. But I've always believed that heaven and hell is a mindset. There are times when people are going through a hellish state. They may be getting or feeling a certain way emotionally, and their mind's not at ease. They lack equilibrium. So therefore there's a shift. Most likely the shift is usually shifted to the negative side, and then a person is full of anxiety or full of so much other things that put you in a state of hell. But I remember I went to go pick up my daughter from school. I don't even call it a daycare. I call it an early learning center. They learn a lot. They're actually doing things that kindergartners not even doing. I'm very proud of my young 5-year-old daughter. I have 3. I have a 5-year-old, I have a 9-year-old, and I have a 3-year-old. And I went to go pick her up, my 5-year-old. I forgot what day this was. I believe this was Thursday. Man, I felt like heaven, man. You say, what do you mean you felt like heaven? I mean, that moment when I walked into her room and because they were on the carpet doing their little video. I think they were doing some dance video, and she didn't know that I snuck in. I snuck in the room, and then I was getting her little bags and her water so we can leave. And I guess one of her classmates were like, "Your dad's here. Your dad's here." My little daughter turns around. She's like, "Daddy," and she just runs up to me. And I pick her up and I hug her and I give her this fat kiss on the cheeks, kiss her on the forehead and hug her so hard. I said, man, like that feeling right there, that was heaven. That's heaven. That's heaven. When your progeny, when someone that's linked to you by genetics, your child that you saw come out of the womb. I literally pulled my daughter out of my wife. I asked the doctors, can I be the one? I want to be the one. I want to be the first thing that she sees. I want to be the first person that she sees, not you. But I didn't tell them that verbatim. In my head, that was my rationale for doing what I did. And it's moments like that that brings heaven to me. It's moments when I have certain moments with my kids, and let's say I'm laying on the carpet in the living room and I'm stretching. Usually I wake up in the morning and stretch, and my kids are jumping all over me and they're crawling all over my head, they're on my legs, and that to me is heaven. And I tell you guys all the time that you are gods. You're generators, you're organizers, and you are the dispenser of your own reality. That's what the acronym God stands for. I don't mean God in the sense of the religious, the religious themes that are pushed onto the world to give the world an idea or a misnomer about what a God really means. We're all gods in the sense that we have to govern ourselves as such. And in my domain, I'm the generator and the organizer and the dispenser of my own reality. And in my reality, my children, my wife, my family, that's my heaven, man. And I'm not saying it's always like, it's always good in terms of the emotional aspect. But I mean, that moment when I walked in, it was her response to me. And I know I'm not always going to have that. I wish I can always have that. You hear people telling you, oh, enjoy this now. When they get older, they're not going to want anything to do with you. But I beg to differ. I think that, parents and children, depending on how you raise your children, you can always have a great relationship with them. And I know when she gets older, if I ever come to her school, she's not going to run to me like that. She's a little old. She'll be a little older then. But I'm sure that same emotional feeling of that's my dad is always going to be there. And I can be laid to rest today. And I'm trying not to get emotional here, but I can be laid to rest today. That feeling I had on Thursday when my daughter ran up to me, I can't explain it to you guys, man. If you don't have children, and maybe if you do have children, you still don't even understand what the hell I'm talking about. But personally, for me, that was a heaven moment. That was a beautiful moment. And I wasn't even looking for it. It was just the way she turned around. She was like, Daddy! She just ran. Jumped in my arms. I'm like, wow. I tell her all the time when I put her to bed, I'm like, you're smart, you're strong, you're beautiful, you're pretty, you come from a line of kings and queens, and you have the genetic makeup of a demigod. I tell her that every night she goes to sleep. And there's some nights I don't put her to bed. My wife may put her to sleep. But the times I'm putting her to sleep, I always whisper that in her ear. And one day she looked at me. I've been doing that since she was little. She looked at me, I think a couple of weeks ago. She's like, Daddy, what does that mean? Why do you always say that? I said, because it's true. That's what you are. If no one's going to tell my daughter, it has to come from me. I have to build her foundation. She has to know that when she gets out into the real world, she has to be confident, and I have to instill that in her. at a very young age. And though she may not understand the terms that I'm using, demigod, genetics of a demigod, you're a king, you're a queen, you come from a line of kings and queens, you're smart, you're strong, you're pretty. She may not, I'm like, why is my dad telling me that? She'll understand when she gets older why my dad always repeated that to me. But yeah, man, that was heaven. That was a heaven moment. I have moments like that sometimes with my son too. Yeah. I see my little self in him. It's almost like I'm living again. It gives me a sense of a reincarnation, but a cheat code. It's like I'm still alive. I'm still here on this planet, but looking at my child, I see, especially my son, I see me and him. It's like I'm living again, but my younger self. Yeah, it was amazing, man. It was amazing, amazing. Amazing. And even the joy that I felt that when she ran up to me when I picked her up from school, and that same day, that same little girl that brought that joy to me is the same little girl that can piss me off in the house when she's not listening. So there you go with how joy and pain, or pain and joy, are both functioning on the same linear frequency. They're both on the same line. The pendulum swings on the same line, but nevertheless, they're mutually inclusive. They're synergistically intertwined. That's what I'm trying to get at. What I mean that you can't have one without the other. There's no joy without pain, and there's no pain without joy. That's why a lot of people believe in heaven, because of the pain and suffering that they've dealt with on this planet Earth. People who've lost loved ones, they want to believe that their loved ones are at a place that they can see them again. So people end up believing in something, even though they don't have any factual evidence to believe in a physical heaven or hell. But they come up with that concept because they have to believe that people who've done really, 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 really bad things have to go to a really, 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 really bad place, and people who are really, 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 really good have to go to a really, 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 really good place called heaven. So people create that environment in their head, in their psyches, and that's what they carry on. And a religion is the perfect place to run for that, because they teach you that these are the things to do to get to this really good place, and these are the things not to do if you don't want to go to a bad place. But we've all convinced ourselves of a heaven and a hell because of our current disposition on this planet. Pain and suffering is part of our existence. We can't escape it. So we have to create some type of safety net in our heads to ensure us that at the end of all of this, it could be all justified if we just endure this current plight before we get to our destination, be it heaven, or if you're a bad person, if you're some kind of serial killer, or you're a person that commits many crimes, then you're going to go to a place where you burn forever. So people being cosmically, composed, because we're cosmically engineered. Our genetics are basically linked with the cosmos, with the universe, with the planetary systems, with the star systems. We govern ourselves underneath the law of duality, so we always have to insert a construct of binary systems. Binary systems mean two systems. A life system that produces an outcome of heaven and hell. So we create that in our own heads. So what we create, our perception becomes our own reality. So that's why you hear people saying, "Oh, you're going to go to hell," or "This person was nice, they're in heaven." Or let's say a woman has a child, but the child doesn't live. It was a stillbirth. And what do they say? Well, you're going to see that baby again in heaven. It makes the person feel good emotionally, even though there's no fact there to know that you're going to actually physically see that child in heaven. And heaven is supposed to be a spiritual place, but yet we add physical attributes to a physical place, which in and of itself is a paradox, because if it's a spiritual place, how can you insert physical descriptions to a place that's spiritual? That's why I said that heaven and hell isn't here. It's between your temples, the mindset. The feeling that I felt when my daughter running up to me, I had a piece of heaven that day. I had a piece of heaven that day. There's no place that exists where it's always joy all the time. That's not realistic. As long as we live underneath this reality, or any reality rather, no matter what the dimension is, there's always going to be a concept of good and evil, yin and yang, up and down, dark and light, good and bad, righteous, unrighteous. It's just the way it is. But anyway, man, that's my spiel. I'm about to get in here. People are already starting to line up. Thank you guys again for indulging me for another morning workout talk. I'll see you guys again Wednesday. All right. Bye-bye. Take care.